Hey guys, how you doing? jpsarrireviews here. The Book of Bobba Fett just ended, and a lot of people are super excited, super happy with the result. Some people are not. So in this video, what I'm going to do, I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to break down the good and the bad, what I like about the show, what I didn't like about the show, and ultimately, I want to let you know if I think this is a great show or not. So in the next couple of minutes, stay tuned. They're good. The first thing that I want to point out that I love about the show is the fact that we're getting to see more of Boba Fett. I'm a big fan of the character. I've been since I was a kid, since the original films. I love him because there's so much mystery that surrounds him. You know, there's so much that we don't know about Boba Fett. And this show really dissects more of that information. Not only that, over the years, I have read so many different novels. I have read a lot of comic books and a lot of ways that writers have explored the character, and we have seen a lot of different facets, a lot of different aspects of his persona, but we haven't seen that in film. And the fact that we're seeing it through this show, it really gives us more insight, allows us to see the character not just as a bounty hunter that is just ready to, to kill someone just for whoever pays the best price, but someone that also has a heart and someone that is a very complex character. Temuera Morrison has done a fantastic job portraying the character. He embodies the persona of Boba Fett, for sure. Of course, there are things that we can point out that perhaps are, things that in the script that we might not agree, but as a persona, as an actor, he has done a fantastic job. He is the voice. Of course, he's been involved in the franchise since the prequels. So he does a good job. The stand, the way he talks, the way he kind of carries himself, I think he's just fantastic. Not only him, I would say Ming-na who portrays Fennec Shan. She's really good at that job. I think those two carry the show. Of course, Pedro Pascal also is part of the show as the Mandalorian. So to me, they're really carrying the show. So the acting is good. What really excites me about the show, besides the acting, which I think is spectacular here, is that we are getting to see beyond just the expansion on the life of Boba Fett. We're getting to see an expansion on the universe of Star Wars. And one of them, of course, the Tusken people. I love that. One of the episodes here with the Tusken people at the beginning of the show, I think is the second or the third episode, was fantastic. It was phenomenal. To me, that was a 10-10. It was just perfect. We get to see more things that we only saw in novels. But the people that watch the films, that don't read the novels, don't know much about it, we are getting to see that. There's a lot of Easter eggs in regards to it. You see the life in Tatooine beyond just a desert place. We're getting to see people. We get information about these people and their interaction in the day-to-day. We get to see the control of, in this case, of Jabba the Hutt. And of course, now he's gone, and now Boba Fett is taking the reign as the daimyo of Tatooine. I love that. I love that we're getting to see all of that. And of course, this different political agendas that people have. So to me, those are amazing aspects of the show. The bad. Now it's time to talk about the bad. And yes, I love the show. I gotta tell you before I even give you my final score, but it is not perfect. And there are a lot of things that hurt the show. And one of them is, I would say is the pacing and the tone. The tone, it varies. And when I came watching this, most of us, when we were introduced to this concept or the idea of this through a trailer, people were expecting this to be a very dark show. If you know the character, everything that is around Boba Fett is very murky, there's some darkness in it. He's not, I will say, a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's just, it's a bounty hunter. He is just an anti-hero. Here, it's like this show tries to portray Boba Fett on a better light, which I'm okay with that in some ways, because at the end of the day, he's a complex character. But it's more inclined into he is a good guy. He is the good uncle that always wants to do the right thing. And to me, that was like, okay, that's not so good. Because even he tries to go back to, at some episodes, try to go back to the darkness of Boba Fett, but it still goes back to being the teddy bear, the big teddy bear of Tatooine. And to me, that was something that I wasn't too crazy about. I think it was unbalanced. Also, there are a lot of things that were introduced here, in my opinion, that it felt like they were trying to hold that rating to be kind of like PG-13. And, and for that, there's a lot of things there that make no sense, and they felt cheesy. There's some encounters, there's some situations that felt out of place, and that affects the tone. Because of course, I tell you before, there were episodes that were amazing. They were amazing. They were deep. And there are episodes where you see this, for example, these young kids riding some scooters that look like the Power Rangers. And to me, it wasn't fun. And I'm not saying that the characters were not necessary. It's the way they were portrayed and the way it was handled. And the action scenes, sometimes they were like, okay, you know, like somebody's being shot, but they don't die this way. And they try to keep it so clean. And they're being chased by this big robot machine or whatever, but people are not dying. So I felt that it was not, the balance wasn't there. You know, in trying to be friendly and family friendly, I think they failed to nail the whole concept, and not always, but in some instances. In conclusion, I'm telling you, I did enjoy the show. It is a very good show, although it is not perfect, as I mentioned before. And, you know, there are a couple things, unfortunately, that really affected the flow of the show. And, of course, the tone of the show, the pacing of the show. Some things were kind of hilarious, but not necessarily in a good way, more like in a ridiculous way. Like, I felt this kind of ridiculous. And there were redundant moments. There were a lot of things that were not balanced. But it was entertaining, which is always good. But the biggest problem that I have with the show is that it felt like, instead of being just the story of Boba Fett and Fennec Shand, it felt more like season 3 of The Mandalorian, which I'm not complaining, because I'm telling you, some of the most exciting moments in the show was when you saw The Mandalorian, where you saw Baby Yoda, Grogu in the show. There were a lot of other characters that appear there. It was exciting to see there, but it was not necessarily a continuation or expansion on the persona and the dilemmas and the complexity of Boba Fett. So to me, that was, you know, one thing. Now, again, it is not a boring show. It keeps you on your toes. The grand finale, the last episode was, I think, amazing, was good. Although there were cheesy moments there. Some things that felt like, okay, this is kind of prepared. It didn't feel like there was tension in it. But it was fun, you know, which is always good. It's a fun ride when you go to the park. So that was good. So if I have to give this show a final score, it is an 8 out of 10, which is good. But it is not at the same level of the season 1 and season 2 of The Mandalorian, which is unfortunate, because I wanted this to be good, and it had the potential to be very, very good. But in so many instances of the show, it felt more as a continuation of The Mandalorian, as a season 3 of The Mandalorian, than being the story of the Book of Bobba Fett, which is unfortunate, because there are a lot of times where actually Mando and Baby Yoda, Grogu, they stole the show. And, you know, as much as I like them, as much as I care for them, as much as I'm looking forward to the next season of that show, I wanted to see this. I want this just to be fixated, to be concentrated on Boba Fett and Fennec Shand. And it doesn't happen all the time. So that would be, some people, you know, may consider that a nitpick, but for me, it was a big part of the show, or at least the expectation prior to the show. But what is your opinion, my friends? What do you think about it? You enjoyed it? Have you watched it? Are you still haven't finished watching it? What do you think about the show so far? You haven't finished watching it. If you already did, what is your opinion? Let me know in the comments below. So once again, my friends, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, to comment, and to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification button to remind you of the next video. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The links are down below. And please consider supporting the channel financially through Patreon. My friends, God bless you. Take care. I will talk to you again. Bye-bye.